bricks the most interesting subject on the planet? Not really, but there you go. Anyway, pointing today, which means I've got to rake out all this really nasty concrete on a lime mortar building, which makes things very, very annoying, very, very difficult. There's only one real way to do it, but I'm going to check to see if the mortar rake that I bought for the grinder will actually go through this, or at least shake it loose, because it's always worth a try. It depends how bad it is. There are places which are going to be like concrete, and there are places which are going to be absolutely impossible to get out, and then you have to revert to a concrete grinding disc, diamond blade basically, to slot it so that you can vibrate the either side loose, because the compression on it after so many years is often bad. The nice thing about this wall is that they've literally just tickled the surface with a bit of mortar, so it shouldn't be too difficult, but it is going to be a long, boring job. Right, whenever you're doing this is a mortar rake, by the way, goggles, always, okay? I would use respiratory stuff for this, but I haven't got any with me, so I'm only showing you how to do this. Dust mask, definitely. This lime mortar is so bad for your lungs, believe me, I've done it many, many years, and I really don't know how to breathe anymore. So, you know, goggles, dust mask, hat, it's a must. Come on. If you want gravel in your hair for days, even after showering, don't wear a hat. See if I can. So, a little bit of bed lime mortar here. I'm going to grind, and then I'm going to try and grind this stuff from underneath and see if I can pop it off, and we'll see how it goes. Bear with me. Not fun, don't breathe. Yeah. 2 bricks uncovered, that's how long that took. It does take a while to get through this stuff. The rake is going to expire far sooner than it should if I, you know, don't make some room for some rattle. Or we're going to end up with massive amounts of tool costs. Each one of those rakes costs £10 roughly. It's about £9.95. Again, tool station, always good. Where am I? Oh yeah, the other thing is, if you want to reverse a brick in a wall, you can get long ones, which is always helpful. Plunge in slowly and then go around your brick, and then you can pull your brick out, remortar it, swap them round if you need to, because there are bricks that I think you see. That's difficult to do on camera. Bricks like that, where they're end on, and they're, unfortunately, if this is some sort of weird hybrid Flemish Bond idea that someone's come up with, they bridge between 2 lots of bricks. You're going to find that very difficult to get out, but you can grind around it. So go around the end of the brick and snap the brick with a bit of leverage, but don't grind anywhere around this brick, or these bricks, because you'll break them too. You need them to be up against something. Now, if you're using Faversham red bricks, which these are pretty much in places, because they're a mix and match of everything. This house has been mucked around an awful lot anyway. Hence the reason why I'm not fussed about the cement on top of lime mortar, because this wall is already bent. Not a lot I can do about that, but I'm going to get in at least 1 inch to repoint, unlike these Burks who have put it in there and it's about 5mm thick on top of lime mortar, which is never going to stick to. It actually needs to be compressed in between tips of bricks, otherwise it's just going to fall out again. So, right, I'm going to do the best I can with it. That's all you can do, because I really don't want to disassemble this wall and put it back together, because unfortunately our Faversham red brick field is closed now, so we can't get them anymore, which is really helpful. It's the only place that used to sell them, but because all these not very good builders have been around and replacing them with things like engineering bricks, which are a completely different density, weight, and what's the word? Flexibility. They've pretty much naffed up every building in Kent, so all I can do is replace like for like. The rest of the house is also cement, and if I do this one in lime and the rest of the house in cement, it will look absolutely terrible. Plus, if this ever does come down and needs to be rebuilt, it will be rebuilt with cement, because we're in halfway up the top of the hill of, in Boreham, and this is not a listed building. And if I take you through Boreham at some point, which I probably will do on a video, and point out some really lovely new designed houses which look like office blocks in the middle of a really old town, you'll discover that the lack of listings in this town, which is criminal, is dreadful. It's just, yeah. Some people down this road have built some quite nice old cottagey looking places, but on the whole, they're new and disgusting. I'm going to slot with a grinding thingy. Ping! Grinding thingy. Right, this diamond edged has slots in it. Don't get one without slots in it unless it's a really high class one and it's got ribs around the outside of it, because the material stays in the wall. It gets tighter and tighter and your grinder will burn out before you know it. Air gaps. It's good for cooling, it's good for material removal, especially when you're working with concrete and lime. It gets a little awkward. Right. Here we go. I'm going to grind away from my camera. Thank you. Lovely. Back to the rake. Okay, as you can see, the rate of which it peels off once you've got the compression out of the joint is a lot faster than if you try and actually grind through it sideways, because you're trying to grind through cement and it's not good. That wheel, because it's removing the material at such a rate, it's so fast. You can slot the uprights as well, but I didn't because I wanted to show you how long it takes to get through a piece of solid mortar as opposed to the slightly one that I put down there, because it's loose and free, and by the time you get a little way along it, you've rattled it off the brick. It's kind of like a vibration impact hammer job, but mini. And the nice thing is, because it's rattling it off the bricks, you're not smashing the hell out of the bricks. And it's creating an easy path for you. So release the compression and grind, and you'll end up with a lot faster job. Meanwhile, I'm going to go back to the other one, slot the entire wall up, and then do it all again with this. The most monotonous job on the planet. See you in a bit. It's not going to be fun. Right, this is that 2 foot wide by 4 foot tall section that I've just ground out, and we'll get there. When we get there, this is not a job to be rushed. Okay. Now, if you find this, you've gone too deep on your perpendiculars with a round blade. My mistake. Try not to do that. It's really difficult to cover up. Right, these are beds. Beds. And perpendiculars. Interesting, huh? Anyway, get down here and then we start running into the bit that I haven't done. But yeah, as you can tell, there are brick replacements all over this thing. These are nice, these are not. We don't like these, but that's what we've got. And I can't really take those out because they're full brick replacements. They go all the way through. But I do like the old, I like these, you know, they've got a nice bit of character in them. Modern bricks like that are just characterless, and when you find a house built entirely out of them, you may as well just have rendered the outside of the building. There's absolutely no point. Unlike the old bricks, they've got a little archway in there from an old window that someone's filled in, which is a shame because the little old windows like that, and they're usually half height sash windows. Very nice little wooden window on the side of the building. There's one at the other end as well, which is now almost at drive level where we've raised the drive, so it's always fun. Anyway, there's a not quite on yet because I knew the pointing was coming. It's just to retain the gate for now. I'll get that sorted out once I've got the pointing finished, and then yeah, oh, fun job. Anyway, that's raked out with the mortar rake. If I can really show you the depth on that. It's all a little fuzzy in the joins, nothing to focus on. Anyway, so raked out with the disc in order to wobble loose with the rake. Makeshift dust mask, old t-shirt. If you're wondering what the funny noise is, that's chickens. There we go. Golden rule, you've got to be able to see what you're doing. I can't. Okay, grab two. closer inspection of the wall. Pretty much most of this is separated from the brickwork, so we're going to just grind out layers at a time. We're going to take about 3 rows of bricks at a time, grind it out, and then rake it out, and then go up a 3 and just keep going. And there's a wire up there. I'm going to stop around about there today, just get it raked out, and then we're going to tidy up and blast off with some mortar, and I'll show you what you pull out the wall with the lime mortar and when to stop. holes I've just made. It's not many, but they're spread over a distance, and what you get is an effect that the entire wall is knackered. For the sake of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bricks that just need some faces in that bit, and that's where your eye goes when you come in through this gate, and you'll see those bricks and they will ruin the whole experience for you. So there's a couple up there and a bit in the archway at the top there. We've got one in the arch itself, and the cut over the archway bricks are all mangled. And basically it just ruins the whole effect of this wall. Basically you get it back to solid brick. If you can chisel away at that brick until it doesn't smash up and it becomes solid, that's pretty much the place to stop. You see, I haven't gone very deep on that one, that's fine. It's just a sliver of brick needs to go over the top of that. This is a bit of that brick. It's you shouldn't be able to do that with brick, even a soft brick. But that is gone. There's nothing you can do with that. It's useless. So get that off. Get down to hard brick. So you know this is still supporting the wall. It's definitely between the perps up and down. So it's still doing its job. Just get a decent brick face on there and make sure you get mortar on this face before you press the new brick face in there and point it up at the same time, and everything will be fine. It's that time to show you how to get a brick out with this monster of a mortar rake. So basically you need to start at the top left, work your way along, unless you're left-handed, start here and work your way along, and then come down one side and take the compression out of that and that. And when you start working along the bottom, it should peel off. Have a little bit of movement there now, you see. Right, now we can continue along the bottom with the tool, or we can try and lever it out. So, crowbar technique. You can see it moving. Now check all the way around to make sure nothing else is moving while you're doing it. See, I've got movement on this one. And what I'm going to do is take the tool back to it and try and relieve pressure on that brick. There you have it. One brick out. Now interestingly, you can see this one has a crack all the way through it, so it's pretty much gone. I'm going to have to put a fresh brick in there, plus the back of it has got a nice big dip in it anyway. It's probably why it's that way around in the wall. When you're lucky, you can find them intact and they have a full face on the back of them, so you can just turn them around. So that was a face that was sticking out. You can turn around and stick them back, and they'll look good. But this one is too far gone. Right. Okay. So I've got a lot of footage to cover on this wall, or yardage if you like. It gets really boring and dull. So you know, AirPods, telephone, Bluetooth, up the ladder, nothing to worry about dropping out your pocket, always handy, and not that far away from the phone. Useful little bit of kit, plus keeps your mind off of what you're doing, so you don't think about how long and boring the job is. Brilliant. Yeah, there's only so long you can spend up a ladder. Okay, we're sliced up there. Last 3 rows done, all the uprights done. And now all I need to do is wiggle it all loose with the mortar rake. I want to say pointing rake so badly. Anyway, there you go. These new ones are not as good as the old ones, they're running out a bit quicker. So, interesting point, not so interesting point. You see this? That is bent as hell. Don't buy this. This is a silver line, apparently 8mm coarse mortar rake. Right? I bought these on Amazon for, I don't know, it wasn't a lot, it was about sort of 15 quid for about 6 of them. That was the reason. I think these are Tool Station. I can't remember which ones from Tool Station, so I will I'll put it in the description. This is insane how good these are compared to this piece of rubbish. This is like a fake gold-plated disaster bling thing. Okay, these bits are so dreadful, I'm actually going to give up on this today and do something else. That's after much chaos and grinding. They're very soft bricks. The dust is an amazing colour. We come up with the fix kit for the wall. So we have bits above the archway, the half brick that needs to go in, the two little bits that need to go in over the bricks that are halved or 3/4, and all the little brick faces that need to go on the main section where we've just taken the faces down. Orientated the way it's going to go in the wall. If you see the pattern on the floor, and you'll see there's two there, like those two at the bottom. Then there's the two that go over the arch, the one angle brick that goes in the angle, and that half, he's got a chunky fella, he's going to go in that hole right there. Dusting over, mild soaking. Right, concentrating on this one, wetting up now. Grab a little bit of the mortar, where you are, there you are, and chuck it at the wall. Right, there we go. Screw it down, make sure it's not going to go anywhere. Do not scrape this off the brick face until this is fairly dry. Right? That one. Squish it in. Okay. Line that top and bottom best you can. Done. Yep, what you've got to remember is the rest of this wall is a bit higgledy piggledy, okay? Now we are cutting off, not scraping off stuff on bricks, okay? Just like that. Leave that until there's no signs of damp on it, and we'll get back to it. Yeah, okay, so we are in there, it's squished in, there's a nice seal behind it against that brick, pretty much level with the one next to it and the one over there. So we're happy with that. Keep them uniform. On to the next one. Put a little on the back. Ooh, back in the front again. You get used to this camera at some point. It's not mirror image, it's exactly the opposite of what I am. It's really helpful. This type of oval, you're not looking for perfection, you're actually looking for similarity between the finish that was there originally and what you're putting in. And where they've got Kent pegs in there, they're not quite right. New bricks are not quite right. So try and get the same sort of brick and get it in there within the average of what the surface is, so that you can make it look like, even if it's out of place, it's in place. It's supposed to look the same as everything else. And if everything else is hickledy-pickledy, you've got to make it hickledy-pickledy. Enough said. Scrape off like that. You want about 45 on your pointing iron, and you just want to lift and scrape. You do not want to and mash it all into the brick surface. Right, now, the chiseling off the bricks, because they're soft bricks, I'm using a wood chisel. Now, I can't really show you on this camera because it's great when I give it a go. It's very, very blunt, rounded, but still has the ability to flick and control which direction you're going to go through. So you don't have to take off massive amounts of stuff when you're not going to chisel right off. This ridiculous big crap. If you are trying to fine tune a wall, use a fine tuning tool. I'm never going to use this for wood ever again because it won't do it. But this is brilliant for chiseling off surfaces of bricks. Bits. If you have a look at the mortar, it's below the surface of the new version of the go, but my bits are in. I'm going to cut a little triangle out to go in there, because I didn't do a very good job of that, and I can make that fit quite nicely. And they're in, and when they point it up they look even more uniform, so nice. And if I just run over quickly you can barely tell which one it is, which is great. One there. I actually can't even find them now. You see, when you come through the gate, you know how greasy it is. A brick wall, so every single face of brick is not okay. Right, so pointing begins right here. We need to make a tall gap. I'll explain what a tall gap is. Right. When you point and you're right-handed, you work that way. You're brushing the muck into what you've already done, but you can't do that because you run into that. So we're going to turn it around and get some in there so that we can come back onto it. Press into the joints. Right, normally you do perps first, which is awkward down here, so we're going to do what we can as we go along. But first of all, I'm just going to give this a little brush off because we've got a lot of debris clinging to the bottom of the wall. Doesn't take long. Much better. technique. Next door is round ironed. We're going to weather struck this, so which means we're going to put an angle on it and a sharp stop, and an angle on it and a sharp stop. So because we've got a bit of point left up the top, and the other side of the gate is a continuation of this pointing, so we're going to try and keep everything looking the same. Get your tool a bit sticky. I'm going to pull it off like this, so we've got a bit on there, and hopefully a bit like it stays on there. Swipe it off your bucket trowel. Off like that. There you go. It won't stay there forever. So we're going to feed in until we've got something definitive in the wall. It wants to stay there. You can feel it as well. You can feel the pressure on the tool when you get to a point where it's not going to want to accept anything else. Eventually, when you get the hang of it, you get pretty quick at it. So, pat down. Try and cover most of your trowel if you can, because the less time you spend in the bucket, the more time you spend on the wall. Speed you up nowhere. Right, cut the end off. There's your little run. Pick up the mortar. Now this is a complete mess, by the way. You are not here right now to make this tidy. Okay, you are here to get muck in the wall. That's it. This is first stage. Flatten out, strike off, square bit on the end, trowel flat, so you're even all the way across the board, cut the end, get it flat. You want to keep doing the same spot until you've got a bit of pressure in there, it's the right sort of pressure for what you're looking for. And remember, you're going over this again, so you don't want it stupid tight. Don't want it rock solid, because you'll be there all day trying to get one spot down. Literally trying to get your mortar. You can take as much or as little as you need. Go to the end of the trowel, start off at a slight angle, wiggle it, and then bring the trowel to where the wall is, and what you'll do is you'll wiggle it along and compress it into the tip of your trowel. When you're pointing this, you're trying to go just underneath the brick above and just over the brick below. Not too much, you're going to try and 1 mil either side of it, okay? So 1 mil out on the bottom, 1 mil under at the top. Otherwise it kind of looks like jumbo with the pointing in it, it's a bit weird. It's the kind of the difference between an artist doing fine line work with one of those little fine line pens, or a kid doing it with a crayon. You know, it makes a big difference. Hairy around the edges, it's muggy as hell, but that's all you need. You just need it filled to the surface so you have something to shape when you get to the finishing off point. We're going to get our tool just under the lip of the brick, work our way along. try and work into the perps as you're doing this. Okay, you see you've got little bits of fluff. You can drag them off. Don't even take all of them off, it's not important. Right, perps. I'm going to do the same. Now if you've got a weird shaped perp, that's fine. Just put a little recess on it if you can. Go over that one. You want the perp to stop before it gets to the horizontals. I'm just going to drag off the excess on there. Instantaneously cleaner. Right, now here, we're going to put a straight line. We're going to follow that line into the brick. Right. Now this one, a little bit more pronounced squarey. So I'm going to do that. And off to one side, making sure that you keep the side the same all the way along. And you'll end up with a uniformed finish to your project. Now, top of the perp, just a little score line, that's all you need. And here, I'm not sure if you can see this on the camera, there we go. Get a little bobble of your stuff. Get a bit on the pointing line and compress it, rub it into that until it is where you want it. Finish it off exactly the same as the rest of it. The crack will disappear. It is purely that your mortar has shrunk and separated, and if you put a little bit in the middle, it's the only way to stop that from happening again. All the little hangers on. Dull lines down a little. Level, just need to tidy it up now. Day pointing up and look, no beard. You are. Last brick to be pointed up. I should blend right in. Okay, job done. As you come through the gate, nice archway. All the bricks are moving as one, all linked in together. It's all looking rather nice. Camera doesn't really do it justice, but anyway, if I crawl along there a bit, it's all nice and neat. And that's the ridiculous amount we've just done. Okay. Right, signing off, on to the next one. I think we're off to America next.